Commander Zelthax of the Vryn Collective allowed himself a rare moment of satisfaction as he surveyed the tactical display. The rebel fleet had been cornered in the Kepler 442 system, their escape route sealed by a perfectly executed pincer maneuver. 63 warships from 5 different species surrounded the 12 remaining insurgent vessels. The battle was already won. They cannot possibly escape, his tactical officer chittered, mandibles clicking with confidence. Our shield harmonics are synchronized. Their weapons cannot penetrate our defensive grid. Zelthax nodded, his crystalline sensory organs pulsing with calm blue light. In his 3 centuries of military service, he had commanded fleets through 17 major campaigns. This would be a footnote in the history texts, barely worth mentioning. The rebels had fought bravely, but mathematics did not lie. They were outgunned, outnumbered, and out of options. Maintain formation, he ordered. Prepare to accept their surrender. Then the sensors screamed. Every warning system on the bridge activated simultaneously, filling the command center with discordant alarms. The tactical display flickered, struggled, then marked a new contact entering the system at impossible velocity. Single vessel detected, the sensor operator announced, her voice cracking with disbelief. Vector indicates Earth origin. The bridge fell silent. Earth, the newcomers. The species that had joined the Galactic Council only 40 standard years ago, barely a moment in galactic timescales. They were primitive by most standards, their technology crude, their understanding of physics limited to barely 3 dimensions of the standard 6. Zelthax felt his confidence waver just slightly. Earth had a reputation, whispered in military academies and fleet cantinas, stories that seemed too absurd to be true, but stories nonetheless. Identify the vessel, he commanded. The sensor operator's hands trembled over her console. Designation: UESS Ragnarok. Classification. She paused. They don't use our classification system, Commander. But mass indicates a cruiser-class vessel. Single ship, 63-13. The odds had barely changed. Zelthax forced his sensory organs back to calm blue. 1 ship changes nothing. Hail them. Inform them this is a collective military operation, and they should withdraw immediately. The communication officer worked frantically. No response, Commander. They're accelerating directly toward our formation. Impossible. No ship can maintain combat effectiveness at that acceleration. Their crew would be paced. Human vessels use something they call inertial dampeners, Commander. We don't fully understand the technology, but the Ragnarok cut through their outer perimeter like it didn't exist. What happened next would be analyzed in military academies for generations. The Earthship didn't slow, didn't maneuver defensively, didn't follow any recognized tactical doctrine. It simply attacked. The first salvo hit 3 collective destroyers simultaneously. Not with plasma, not with coherent energy, not with antimatter, the civilized weapons of galactic warfare. The humans used kinetic projectiles, chunks of tungsten accelerated to relativistic speeds, guided by AI systems that could predict enemy movements before they happened. The destroyer's shields, designed to disperse energy, did nothing against solid mass traveling at a significant fraction of light speed. They simply ceased to exist, transformed into expanding clouds of superheated debris. Return fire! Zelthax roared, his calm blue shifting to alarm red. 60 ships opened fire at once. Enough energy to glass a small moon converged on the human vessel. The shields should have failed instantly. They didn't. The humans had somehow weaponized their own defensive systems. As energy weapons struck the Ragnarok's shields, the ship didn't just absorb the damage. It stored it, redirected it, and fired it back as concentrated beams that burned through hulls like paper. It was insane. It violated every principle of energy conservation the galaxy knew. But worse than the weapons was the ship's movement. It didn't dodge like a ship. It moved like a fighter, like something a tenth its size, spinning and rolling with impossible precision. The human pilot, or pilots or AI, Zelthax couldn't tell, seemed to predict every firing solution before his gunners could execute it. 5 more ships went dark in as many seconds. They're targeting our command vessels, someone screamed. The Ragnarok pivoted, no thrusters visible, no conventional propulsion, and launched something new. Missiles, but not like any missiles the galaxy used. These split apart mid-flight, each piece subdividing again and again until thousands of smaller projectiles swarmed toward the fleet's carrier group. Point defense systems fired desperately, destroying hundreds, thousands of the tiny attackers. But not all of them. The flagship carrier Eternal Zenith, pride of the Vryn Navy, suffered 37 hull breaches in 8 seconds. Its reactor containment failed. The explosion took 4 nearby frigates with it. Retreat! Zelthax finally gave the order he never thought he'd need to. All ships scatter formation and retreat to safe distance. But the human ship wasn't finished. It accelerated again, that impossible crew-crushing acceleration, and positioned itself between the collective fleet and the rebels they'd been hunting. Then it simply stopped, floating in space, weapons hot, daring them to continue. A transmission finally came through, audio only, in perfect galactic standard. This is Captain Maria Chen of the UESS Ragnarok. The vessels behind me are under Earth's protection. You have 10 minutes to withdraw from this system. We will not ask twice. One ship. One human ship had dismantled a fleet of 63 in under 3 minutes of combat. Zelthax stared at the tactical display, at the 19 ships he'd lost, at the wreckage that had been his overwhelming advantage. He thought about the stories he'd dismissed as propaganda. Humans who fought without fear of death. Humans who turned physics into suggestions. Humans who named their warship after the end of the world and made the name fit. Withdraw, he ordered quietly. All ships, full retreat. As his battered fleet limped away from Kepler 442, Zelthax understood something the rest of the galaxy would soon learn. Humans didn't just fight wars. They made war into an art form, a science, and a religion all at once. They were the species that looked at impossible odds and asked, but what if we win anyway? The Ragnarok remained on station until every collective ship had jumped to FTL, then simply vanished into the void, leaving behind nothing but wreckage, terror, and a new equation in galactic military doctrine. Any number of ships minus one Earth vessel equals a fair fight. Maybe.